What's good? We back with the boxing clinic and more, and continue to speak on this all my children sad saga between Team Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, and Deontay Wilder, Shelly Finkel, Jay Diaz, and Al Heyman. But don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook as well. Like us there. All those links in the description. Appreciate y'all for subscribing to the channel. And you want to know when we upload a video and don't want to be left behind to this real trill news we kicking, hit the bell icon. But, yeah, Nestor Gibbs of the Boxing Voice, which I'll link that in the description as well, did an interview with Eddie Hearn. I'm surprised Eddie did another interview with him after they kind of set him up, on their radio show with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder and caught him in a lie. Now, Eddie Hearn is a habitual liar. I say that right now. And him and Nestor had a good interview. I would like for you guys to watch that interview first in the description, and then come back and hear my synopsis. But if you ain't got 15 minutes to listen to the whole interview, I could just pretty much tell you the key points and I'll tell you what I took away from the interview real quick. Basically, Nestor Gibbs didn't really articulate or had the best metaphors in this interview. Won't say this was his cleanest interview, but a lot of people at that point of frustration, why this fucking fight ain't happening, and it's hard to articulate when it's just bullshit from all the way around. I'm not picking Joshua's side, I'm not picking Wilder's side, but I'm just saying the $1 million question was this. But before I get into that, the $1 million question, but he was just asking him about has Al Heyman ever gave you a bad check? He said he's a manager. Why would he give me a check? But what he meant, has Al Heyman, who is a manager and advisor, has he ever gave you a deal where the money didn't add up? Have you ever heard about Al Heyman, a check bouncing or somebody not getting paid from the deal he put together? When then he goes in and said, well, I heard a lot of rumors about Premier Boxing Champions and the money in this and that. Ain't nobody asked you about that. There have been rumors about Premier Boxing Champions running out of money for like 3 or 4 years now, and it hasn't happened, right? All right? And I heard Al Heyman bought the UFC or something like that and got them a UFC fight in New York. So, excuse me, that's irrelevant. When somebody trying to hit home and get you with a good question, then you want to rebuttal with some bullshit. See, Eddie Hearn is full of bullshit. I tell you that right now. He's 100% full of bullshit. He knew what he meant. Has Al Heyman never, never been good for the money the deal that he advised? Have you ever heard about anybody badmouthing Al Heyman about getting paid? Nestor didn't articulate that to the best. But, obviously Eddie Hearn is just, I don't know, I don't trust anybody in the game. Like I said, he's full of bullshit. And all y'all UK fanboys over there is letting him mind fuck y'all. How can you? How can you? What big fight has he gave you guys? Now, every little Anthony Joshua fight is a big fight to you guys, but it ain't a big fight on the grand scale. Anthony Joshua had one big fight with Vladimir Klitschko. Other than that, what has Eddie Hearn delivered to you guys? He hasn't. He hasn't delivered you guys a $100 million fight over there. Because he can't. But at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder team is telling them to, accept the deal. Like Nestor asked, I don't understand what's the point of saying, okay, we accept the deal, let's sit down. Even if it's just a ploy just to get them to sit down. Now, the reason why Deontay Wilder's team don't want to sit down without them agreeing or accepting or verbally accepting the deal, which I don't understand why. What's the problem just saying, okay, yeah, let's sit down and talk about it. The reason why they want a verbal agreement is because last time they sat down last year around this time, whenever the fuck it was, they wanted to talk about the Anthony Joshua fight, and Eddie Hearn and Barry, his dad, wasn't talking about nothing but Dylan White. They try to bring up Anthony Joshua, Dylan White. And they said, okay, we'll fight Dylan White if we put Anthony Joshua in the deal. They said no. Said no, we just want you to fight Dylan White. And that's why they wasted their time, So, as far as, them wasting their time, they just want a verbal agreement saying that, okay, we know that you guys really interested. Just say, okay, and then we'll show you the proof of funds and the contract. Nobody questioned Eddie Hearn when he came up with a 12-point, whatever the fuck offer it was, $12 million offer to Deontay Wilder. Nobody asked him for proof of funds or the contract, whatever it may be. So at the end of the day, you wanted him to verbally agree to an offer or sign an offer where he didn't see a contract. Now you're seeing the bullshit from both sides. So what is it for Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua to agree and just to sit down? Even if you don't like it, you have no legal binding agreement, in writing to say you can. And even if you did sign a contract for $50 million, you say you don't know where the funds come from. If you guarantee $50 million in the contract and they say, we guarantee $50 million, and they don't come up with your $50 million, they're legally obligated to give you your $50 million. So what is the issue? It's a win-win for Anthony Joshua. You're not wasting, or Eddie Hearn. It's not. At the end of the day, you should be wasting your time. But guess what? You wasted Deontay Wilder and Al Haymon and Shelly Finkel time last year. So at the end of the day, we know Al Haymon got to come up with the money. He an A1 businessman. He has never, flunked out on any business deal, for what I'm understanding, or a check ain't never bounced on his end. And even Dan Rayfield, who don't even fuck with him like that, said, yeah, I know they got the money. So at the end of the day, man, I'm just done with the situation. They just pussyfooting around. TBC and where we going.